A 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. All right, that's the Pete Anderson guitar solo on Dwight Yoakam's hit Guitars, Cadillacs. We're going to go over it real quick, kind of a little mini lesson. I don't really do these that often, but this one's one of my favorites, so we're going to do it today. So basically, the solo starts off, and I think one of the things to keep in mind with this, besides the obvious things like the tone, a telly doesn't hurt. That's what he probably played it on. I don't know for sure. Finger style, I know that's something he does now. I'm not sure if that's what he did then, but that's what I'm going to do now because that's the way he does it now. And then swinging real hard, making the swing licks kind of snap, like 1, 2, 3, 4, no. Thinking kind of like a big band vibe in terms of the swing. So that first lick is a little A major pentatonic lick, and you're sliding from B up to C sharp on the A string. So it's just kind of like a typical country lick. E, F sharp, E. A lot of the swing happens on that little slide. Okay, and then the next part comes up, which is a little dyad, a little double stop section. So we're doing kind of like, what is this, C sharp and A, and we're just going in thirds. Pretty typical, but the way he feels it, you have to sort of swing. You're snapping between the G and the B string with your thumb and your index or middle finger, whichever feels better. So you kind of snap G to B, and then you hit them at the same time once you get up to the 1 chord here, which is the major third and the fifth of A. And then the motif kind of switches over to sixths, which means you're going to skip a string. Kind of similar pattern and shape idea, but just this time you're skipping the B string. So you're just kind of like following the major scale with in harmony in sixths. So you've got the what is this? The 6th fret of the G and the 5th fret of the E string, 7th fret of the G, 7th fret of the E, and then 9th fret of those two same strings. And this is where it gets fun. Ba, 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 ba. And you kind of have to figure out how to get sort of a mechanical action going. So for me, it's this. It's a flick. But you try to make it mechanical. Like in your mind, you're sort of trying to duplicate what a machine does. So you can get those bends in tune. And then back down to that 7th fret. And then this little lick sliding from the minor third to the major third. So 5th fret to the 6th fret of the G. And then you let that A on the 5th fret of the E sustain with it. So far we got... And then Pete Anderson does like a fast vibrato thing here. I don't know if it's because he was playing a telly and he was trying to make it sound like a like kind of a Gretsch vibrato, but he does like a real kind of frantic vibrato here. It's really cool in the song. It works in this context. All right, and then after that lick, we go up to the 5 chord. So we're going to do kind of a similar motif, but all the way up to the 12th fret. So we're sliding up 13th fret of the G, 12th fret of the E. Yeah. So similar idea up. And then, and you have to re-articulate this bend up on the G twice. And then you land and you do the frantic fast vibrato again. And then we do that one more time. And then this is an important part, because this part really swings hard in the original solo. So you gotta think about that swing. And the swing feel, it's like it's kind of like an egg rolling down a hill. It's not a symmetrical, super even thing. And it's just a feel thing. And it's not really specific to any genre either. Like Eddie Van Halen swung hard as hell in rock and roll. This is a really fun little steel guitar style bend. So you're grabbing the 5th of E, which is B on the 12th fret of the B string, and you're going to pre-bend. So you kind of have to know the feel of the guitar pretty well for this to work. You're going to pre-bend the G up to that note A and bring it down to A flat, or G sharp in this case. So we're going ba-da-da-da-da, and then we're just kind of traveling down the major pentatonic, 14th fret of the D, down to the 11th fret of the D, down to the 9th fret. And then you roll your finger over to that 9th fret of the G. But the most important thing there is the articulation. So I'll kind of just ghost the muted D. And then this lick, we're grabbing the 12th fret of the E, and we're letting down another pre-bent note on the 11th fret of the G. The bend has to go down sort of logarithmically. Like it starts out kind of fast, and then you slow down the bend as you get closer to the note. And that makes the style more authentic, I think. And then after that, you're back on that note E on the 9th fret of the G. And then this is a really cool part. You're sliding down on the 10th fret of the B. And then right as you get to like about the 6th fret, you're grabbing the A on the 5th fret of the E, and that lets you know you've arrived back at the 1 chord. And then we're doing another kind of similar lick, where we're doing a pre-bend from the 6th fret of the G up to that D note, and then hitting that A on the 7th fret of the D. And then you're sliding that one down. And you're just kind of like, whenever you get to a spot where your index finger can grab that A on the G, that's where you kind of stop the slide. And you don't want to overthink it. This has to be sort of an organic thing, because this whole thing is swinging, mind you. So let's do that slow. And then this last part, it's just more A major pentatonic. And he actually bends those two articulations for that last note. So I'll do the whole thing slow for you. And you may have noticed that I added some ghost notes up here to kind of, in my opinion, help the swing, help the articulation. And that's sort of something you just sort of develop over time, but I can try to show you some of that. That's the chicken picking part. Ghost, B, another ghost note. The D string is good for ghost notes up here. That's a real big chicken picking thing. Ghost note, loud high note. So that's the thing to work on, I think, also, is just make it sound like a chicken. All right. Well, I hope that was even vaguely comprehensible. This has been my lesson on Pete Anderson's guitar solo on Guitars Cadillacs, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want any other kind of lessons, just like and subscribe and write it down in the comments, and I'll see if I can get around to it. Thanks for tuning in tonight, folks, and I'll talk to y'all later.